It's been a while since the megacab got some love on the channel, so I decided that it was finally time to pull the trigger on the 5-figure lift kit that I've been saving for the past 2 years. What's up guys, welcome back to another episode and thank you for joining me on this week's adventure. We've been doing a lot of water-based activities recently, so I decided we should mix it up and head up to the mountains in the megacab. Now before we get into the episode, if you wouldn't mind just popping down there and subscribing to the channel if you aren't already, I would greatly appreciate it. Making these videos is my full-time job, and by subscribing to the channel, you allow me to continue to do that each week. It costs you absolutely nothing but a couple of seconds of your time, which is a lot less than it cost me to make this week's episode. So thank you very much for your support. Anyway, a couple of weeks back, I took the truck up to Precision Motorworks in San Jose, California to install my brand new Carli Pintop suspension setup. But Adam, you live in Arizona. Why would you drive 10 hours north just to have them install your suspension? Well, that's a great question. Precision Motorworks are responsible for the builds on both my megacab and my Golf R, and I haven't had a single nut or bolt go wrong with any of the work they've ever done for me. Not only that, but they've become like family to me. And I always love spending time with Jeff and Brandon, even though they do mostly just make fun of the way I talk.
Well, hey guys, Adam here, and we're just putting on the new upgraded 034 rotors on my 2016 Golf R. It's gonna look like this.
So when it came time to fit the new lift kit, they were my first and only choice. And side note, I also trailered my Golf R up there for them to diagnose and fix that misfire, which as of yesterday, I believe they've figured out. So that will be coming back to the channel soon, hopefully as well. As well as treating the megacab to the Carli lift kit, I also installed brand new 37-inch BF Goodrich KO2 tires. And before I drove up there, Desert Fleet Dan installed my new Titan 50-gallon extended range fuel tank, so I don't have to pay California gas prices on my trip up there, thanks to my new 650+ mile range while I'm towing. So with all of these new goodies on the truck and the urge to go on a fun road trip, I loaded up the dog and the missus for a few days up in the mountains with the goal of testing out the new suspension and avoiding California gas stations and going for dinner at my favorite Himalayan restaurant up there. Now, this isn't sponsored, but I wish it was, honestly. There is a gas station out here called Maverick, and their strapline is Adventure's First Stop, which I think is too serendipitous for us not to work together. So if you think I should try to get a sponsorship from Maverick, leave a comment below telling them that I would be a great brand ambassador given how many motorized toys I seem to have acquired lately. With a full tank and enough snacks to feed a small island nation, we headed off into the desert towards Big Bear. We actually stopped for dinner in Joshua Tree and then arrived at our Airbnb later on that evening, so we will pick up the following morning ready for some off-roading. Welcome to Big Bear, everybody. We are out here on the beginning of the trail that I've plotted out that's going to go about 25 miles through the mountains here. Hopefully it's going to give us some amazing views of both the lake, which is that way, and also the other side of these mountains is the desert, so we may even get a glimpse of that as well. The reason that I'm out here is because I want to put the new truck, well, it's the same truck but new suspension, through its paces. We've got that Carli Pintop system on here. We've also got 37-inch BF Goodrich KO2 tires. So this thing is gonna ride so much nicer than it used to. This is the first time that I've taken it off-road, and I'm very, very excited to see the difference between the two. Driving out here, just going over the bumpy desert roads where there are these like whoop sections. Before in my old truck, you would go over them and you'd go up and then you go down, and then there'd be this like sine wave while the shocks kind of settled themselves out. Whereas with this, you go over, you compress, and then that's it, just like straight back to flat. And that's obviously because Carli puts so much effort into fine-tuning the damping in these King shocks. You got this massive reservoir here to keep everything cool, and then a fire hose to allow the fluid to flow between the two. We've also got the Carli torsion anti-roll bar down here, and then high and low mount steering stabilizers, plus a new front diff guard. And then obviously in the rear, we've got the upgraded shocks as well with the reservoirs. You can just about make them out down there. So yeah, this is going to be epic. Obviously the KO2's my favorite on-road off-road tire. We're going to wear those down now so that we've got a nice plush ride. Obviously right now we're not on anything too crazy, but as we get further up, hopefully we'll get into some kind of cool stuff. Then the other cool thing, like I said in the beginning of the video, is we just installed that 50-gallon Titan fuel tank. So even though we drove all the way out here from Arizona, We've got about 240 miles on the clock right now, but the fuel is still showing 85%. And given the price of the diesel here, that is going to be way more cost effective to be able to fill up with $3.37, I think I paid at the pump. So yeah, big savings on fuel. I'm hoping that we can do this whole thing and get back to Arizona without even having to touch a gas station in California. So we're using Onyx Off-Road for our navigation. So the trail that I've chosen kind of winds through, it's mostly these like fire roads. I'm not trying to go rock crawling or anything with the truck, that's not the point. The reason that I went with this suspension setup is because I want something that A, is future proof. I mean, this stuff is so beefy and so tough. And B, I just want to be able to more comfortably get to places that are a little bit more off-grid, rather than, you know, going over rocks and boulders and all that kind of stuff. It's more just not getting my teeth rattled out every time I decide to go off-road. Altitude, we're at 7,221 feet. Look at that.
We've got here ourselves a bit of a mud swamp. We got to go through it, but we don't know how deep it is. So here I am. It's like an instinct.
So the embarrassing part about that is that we just stopped to set up that shot of me driving through the puddle because I thought it was going to look really cool. And there was a forest ranger person that came by and like stopped behind us, and I had to move across because she didn't want to go through the puddle. And then when I went through, it was like an inch deep. And she's probably like, these fucking YouTubers stopping traffic just to film going through a little tiny puddle. I mean, it felt cooler than it looked. Oh look, we're now going to go off-roading on asphalt. We're really putting the suspension through its tests here, guys. Wow, this is incredible. I'm glad we're in four-wheel drive though. Who knows what would happen if we were only in two. About to risk it all. Two-wheel drive. Hold on to your underpants, guys. Maddie's not wearing any, so. Off-roading. Parkour! Whoa. Did you see that? Guys, if you ever wondered, should I spend $11,500 on suspension? The answer is yes, because look at this extreme driving you can do. Watch this. What? Whoa! Whoa! As the Grindhard Plumbing boys would say, going places you can't even walk.
The literal asphalt.
No, look, there's dirt here. Look, watch this. Off-road, off-road capability, great. On-road capability, great. If you want a truck that can do it all, look no further than a Ram 2500 Laramie megacab with the Carli Pintop 3.25 suspension system. You might want to get padded handles though. Zombie apocalypse, I'm ready for you. The cool thing about driving out here in Big Bear is that you get such a variety of landscapes. So right now we're in this like meadow basically. I mean, there's all these wildflowers and it's very green, and we're in a little valley, but then there's other bits where it's super arid and rocky and almost has like a desert feel, and then you'll go into an area where it's just full of pine trees. So within the space, I mean, we've only been driving for probably, I don't know, 40-45 minutes. You get all of these different experiences, and you can kind of pick the trails that suit you. So this loop that I'm doing is relatively easy. I mean, you could do it in any stock four-wheel drive vehicle, I would think. I mean, there are a few bits a bit further up that we may have a bit more technical difficulty with, but in general, you can pick the little fire roads that allow you to just get out here, feel like you're completely in the middle of nowhere and enjoy it. with a stock vehicle. Or there are some trails out here that are gnarly, and there's boulder fields and all kinds of crazy stuff where you need a fully built off-road vehicle, rock sliders, winch, diff lock, you know, all of those kinds of things. So yeah, just very cool. I just love it. I've always loved it here. And so I'm glad that now that I live in Arizona, it's such an easy drive to get out here. It's about 4 hours, whereas from Newport, where I used to live, is probably three and a half hours. So it's about the same distance. But yeah, it's just one of my favorite places. I would love to get a cabin up here at some point. Where are we? Just found a cool little spot to stop and let Diesel go for a little run around. So my initial impressions of the new suspension, it is absolutely phenomenal. It's completely transformed the way the truck drives. Not that it was ever uncomfortable or anything like that, and I did have those Bilstein B8s on it before, which were a great upgrade over stock, but you just can't compare it. I mean, the way that I would describe the B8s over stock is just that they felt a little bit more robust, and there was a little bit more suppleness, if you like, over the rough stuff. But if you did get either in some deep ruts or over like fast, like washboard stuff, it was still like quite jarring. This, it feels way more like a pre. Now, you real off-road people, don't mock me for this, but like a pre-runner setup in regards to the fact that the damping feels like it's absolutely set for this truck. So when you go over bumps and stuff, it's not like bone jarring, and the rebound is really nicely controlled. So it just gives the truck a much more plush feel. And then obviously running the tires super low helps as well. But yeah, I'm really, really impressed with it. I mean, it is an expensive setup. Everything that I put on this, I think was about 11,500. But that being said, if you use your truck as much as I do to do this kind of stuff, but also you use it for towing like I do, then this is a great setup because it will do both. Like when I put my boat on the back of this, the back hardly sags at all. It really is quite a stout setup back there. And so you don't get that like wheelie look that you get with a lot of the off-road systems that are just too soft to actually tow with. So yeah, overall, big thumbs up. If I could give you 2 thumbs up, I would. I'm really, really impressed. Are you free? Are you free? Everywhere you go. Don't leave your rubbish. Look at this dork.
Takes after his dad.
Ready? What you doing? Oh. Hi, buddy. What type of lizard is he?
I don't know.
Hello, wizard friend. Whoa!
Today. Do you want to hold him?
Diesel, look. Do you want a new friend? Okay. Okay, I think we found a technical part. Yeah, so look, we can go Holcomb Valley to here on that easy road, or this I believe is like called White Mountain. Yeah, maybe jump out and run to the top.
Okay. Got pretty treacherous down here, so Adam had me come and do some investigating. Looks like we'll be able to continue on this trail.
So the guy on the bike back there just pulled up next to me, and he was like, holy shit, he's like, I wasn't expecting to see you on this trail. And he's like, yeah, he said, this is where I bring all my friends when we come ride dirt bikes. He said, you know, I never, geez, look at this bit. He said, I never normally see trucks this big up here, and now I'm starting to see why. It's a little bit narrow. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no problem. I'll tell you what though, for a truck this size, it is amazing like where it'll go. Like he just said, he's like, you never see trucks like this up here. He's like, you see the Jeepers come up, but Nothing this big. And maybe that's more because people don't want to scratch this shit up like I'm gonna do. Oh God, look how narrow this is. I'm sorry, truck. And antenna on the roof. Ooh, definitely can't see where we're going. There we go. So this function is really nice. So the 360 camera that you're supposed to use for parking actually works great for being able to see the trail. Oh, that was big. That didn't break, that was already broken. I tell you what, I like Onyx Off-Road, but also some of their trail descriptions are completely wrong. Like, it said that this was a full-size truck trail. This is not a full-size truck trail, not by any stretch. Like, look at this. I'm barely fitting through here. Look, it just folded my mirror in. That's how, I'll tell you what, I'll help it out. I'll fold my mirrors in. We made our way back down to civilization and, more importantly, a nice little outdoor bar where we sat, had a few bevies, enjoying the not 115 degrees Fahrenheit weather we've been experiencing out here lately. Maddie had never had Indian or Himalayan food before, and as somebody who I'm pretty sure was Indian in a past life, judging by how much I love the cuisine, I had to take her to try it out. So how was your first Himalayan experience?
Amazing.
And after that, we took Diesel bowling for the first time, which he seemed to enjoy, and I exceeded my expectations with my performance out there as well.
I didn't see what happened. I was trying to give Diesel more water.
The next morning, we packed up and made our way back to Havasu, and I am pleased to confirm that not only did we do that entire trip, plus the off-roading and back on one tank of diesel, but I still had almost 350 miles left until empty. So I reckon if I did a long distance road trip with 99% freeway driving, I could probably squeeze about 1,000 miles between fill-ups, which is pretty nuts, honestly. What is also nuts are the savings. To fill my 50-gallon tank here in Havasu at the current rate of $3.37.9 per gallon, it costs $168.95. And if I'd filled it in Big Bear, I would have spent $314.95 because it was $629.9 a gallon. So while adding the Titan fuel tank did cost about $1,300 installed, it wouldn't take too many road trips through price gouging states to pay it off. And also, the peace of mind of not having range anxiety is worth a lot too. And if we want to get real doomsday prepper about things, it's nice to know that I'd have plenty of fuel to be able to get far away from anything I needed to. And on that note, the new Carli Suspension and those 37-inch BF Goodrich tires will also go a long way towards allowing me to go basically wherever I need. Since I got back from the trip, I've probably put about another 500 miles on the truck, and I really, really love how it rides. It tows like factory. In fact, it squats less in the back than it did with my Bilstein B8s that were on it, and the on and off-road handling is spot on. The next thing I would like to try doing is running it at naughty speeds over washboard desert road, like the one that I drove in back in Joshua Tree. That bump and rebound control is so good that I bet it would just be like a magic carpet over the rough stuff. Anyway, hopefully this episode was enjoyable, whether you are a car nut or just here for the pretty views. Let me know down in the comments below what else you would like to see me do with the megacab now that it is all kitted out. And by the time this episode goes out, it will be the weekend of the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Hopefully you've had a brilliant time, and I would imagine a lot of you are watching this pretty hungover right now. So remember to hydrate and tell yourself that you will never, ever drink like that again until next weekend, probably. Anyway, guys, thank you for hanging out with me again this week. I'll see you next Sunday for a Havasu 4th of July recap. Be good people, make good choices, and most importantly, remember, until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do. See ya.